Good morning, everybody. My name's Jane Evans, and this is Paul from CWM. And we were part of Cohort 7, and we're just going to talk you through our journey on the road with the cake presentation. So I'm just going to start off with our strap line, which is how do we manage change to drive sustainability and efficient waste reduction with a commercial head and a social heart. So just to say, next slide, please. So, as part of our group, we had 7 of us, no, 6, sorry, 6, it was Cohort 7, and we were part of a large organisation which was Carmarthenshire County Council, and then we had our trading company of Carmarthenshire County Council, which was Paul from CWM, Environmental, and then Emma and Neris, which were from a housing association from Port Talbot, Neath and Port Talbot. So they were a medium size. And then we had Layla, who was working with a community fridge and a repair cafe in Llanelli. So it was a sort of large, medium and small working together corruptly. So our journey started as part of the course at CWM. So we're going to show you what CWM does, because we've mentioned CWM a couple of times with our councillor's presentation, and so we're going to show you our journey and our visit to CWM, which did a lot of sort of light bulb moments in some of our cohort. So is it possible to show the video, please?
My name's Sean Gallagher. I'm the MD at a company called CWM Environmental. We're a waste management and resource recovery company based in southwest Wales. So when we built the residual waste materials recycling facility, the aim of that was to encourage landfill diversion. That led us to then, the last time we tipped in the landfill was in 2016. So since then we haven't landfilled the material. That material then gets into energy from waste and we recover the bottom ash into recycling then. We've also got the materials recycling facility, so that's where we recover the household recyclables from the bags and turn them back into new products. We've also got a compost facility, so we treat all garden waste from the region, so we deal with a number of local authority, large contracts, and then we sell that product back into the market via Merlin's Magic Compost. Recently we built a repair workshop and reuse village, and in effect that's taking material in, making them good, making them available to other members of public and community groups. We've also built and developed a paint treatment facility. That's looking at landfill diversion, treating the paint, making it available again to members of public and for the community. And we've also built the commercial recycling facility, which in effect caters for commercial waste.
Going to CWM Environmental this morning, I'm so pleased I went. So interesting, so much more than I expected it to be. Rather than recycling the items, they were actually making them into a condition that could be reused as well. So I think I was inspired by that really, the fact that they could just take it that step further than what we've already done in our project. Everything that they're doing for the land around them as well, that they were actually a nature reserve. I mean, you would never imagine a tipping site to be a nature reserve, but of course it is.
Having group visits is essential. It is about sharing knowledge and sharing ideas. It'll also provide opportunities for CWM Environmental as well, in terms of outlets for some of the material. We're looking forward to the opportunity to work with local health boards, local authorities, universities, colleges, and a number of sustainability initiatives.
So what our journey started was with segregation waste and how we're going to implement that into our department. And so why do we need to do this? And it's sort of example to show that segregation and recycle streams can increase the total recycling rates that are easy to understand and decrease so we can measure it. And when do we want to do this is from April 2024 with new legislation coming into effect so that in public buildings the waste would need to be segregated. So, and then how? It's collaboration between the waste management company, which is CUM, and providing training and resources to help to understand these incoming changes. And Green Champions. We already have Green Champions in our leisure department, and we are going to join that leisure, the Green Champions, as part of that. So it's working together with other parts of the council. How do we prepare? Next slide, please. Thank you. So how we've been preparing for this? So we've been looking at what waste you have produced and get the right service for your waste contractor. So every building has got sort of different types of waste management systems that they need. Some have more food, some have different types of say newspapers. We work in the care sector, they might have their newspapers and all their personal bits and pieces. So it's what fits for each building. And then think about how we are going to train our staff and explain the changes to visitors that come to our premises and the users in the premises, so it's staff and residents and everything like that. So it's looking at how we can do that, and hence the Green Champions to sort of embed that. And then consider whether you need new bins or more bins. So CUM have been out and they've been to look at all our care homes and some of our other facilities to look at what is needed for each and look at what waste we currently have and how we can move that forward to a different dimension. I'm going to pass over now to Paul, if it's possible to have the next slide, please.
Okay. The All Roads to Come was a bit of a pun because we seem to get involved in everything. As a commercial business, what we actually brought to the table was a lot of resource that a lot of the local authorities don't have. We also brought in knowledge, skills. We work in partnership with a lot of companies within Wales. So Nappy Cycle here, Fibre Right's another one, AWD Group. All of these companies are invested in Wales. They're helping close the loop. So we're getting investment, we're getting jobs. We're achieving everything that we wanted to do. What was supposed to be a very simple segregation job for me has turned into something far more complex, where we started to add extra benefits. So we noticed that we can reuse paint, we can supply paint into all these organisations. It stops it going to waste. We can do it at cost price. So this was the other thing. Our commercial profits help us to support other organisations and charities. So we got involved with social housing, where we can they can supply us with lists. We will take furniture, IT goods. We're moving into white goods. We can repair them, reuse them, supply them back in at a cost price. So it's a benefit for the environment. It's a benefit for the organisations as well. One of the big things that we found is there's a lack of skills as well. If we can move to the next slide, please. So we've identified issues around the skill sets. So one of the things we've started to do is we're working with local charities. We're working with people who struggle to get back into the workplace or have additional learning needs. We're offering them a trial period, voluntary work. If it actually works for the individual, we're then offering them training in a full-time position within the organisation. It's a bit challenging at times because you can't treat them as a traditional worker, you can't put them straight into 40 hours. So what we're looking at is, rather than just having a single position, we're probably generating 3 or 4 positions, flexible hours, suits them, suits their needs, brings them in. We've also engaged with the Youth Parliament, and we're looking at a series of apprenticeships and training for people that don't necessarily want to go through the university route. One of the things that again has been significantly highlighted is the further you move up the hierarchy, the higher the skills required. So the jobs become more technical, they're better paid. So we're running into a significant training programme to support young people and people who are struggling to get into the workplace. And that's it for me. Go to the next slide, please.
Thank you, Paul. One of the sort of collaborations that we've been working with, there's been a collaboration between the Repair Cafe, which Layla has been setting up internationally, which which is great. So watch out Channel 4 for that. So and Environmental. So with future plans, working as cooperative of workshops within the 10 towns, which mentioned by the councillors, which is really, really good. And Environmental has also already donated some the magic compost, which you saw in the video, to community gardens and projects, which is in our mental health and learning disabilities projects, which are here today, which is really good, which is across sort of community councils and schools. So it's trying to work together, hence all roads need to come. Next slide, please. The other part, this is a bit about the repair shop and what Layla's done, because Layla is a small one band, sort of working, so it's sort of from the large to the small. So that's where the cafe is, and there she's got a little repair, little van, and they're sort of doing different types of activities, which is good for the local community and etc. So which is really, really good. And then she's grown her own veg, which is excellent. So next slide, please. What we're working on in the next week or so is that we're looking at bulk waste collection direct from our care homes to make it so with the segregation. Obviously, it's their home, and we've got staff, so it's a bit of a learning curve how we're going to do that. Develop workshops with on training and increased needs for the materials to be used, within the homes, the chairs, the beds, all that sort of. There's so much things that we can do and make it more circular. The green champions within the whole of the communities, which then will, be advocates and get, motivation. And then the care managers are going to come so it's easy to see it and understand it, and then they can, communicate it out to the teams, what it's all about and how we can embrace the circular economy. So therefore, if you are on the M4 and you're going down to Cowes, all the roads lead to come. Thank you very much.